what we heard yesterday was very sobering from the president, is that, listen, if we hadn't done all of what we are doing as a country right now and as a people, we'd be looking at somewhere like 2 million people dying, but that we have to prepare as a nation for, on the low end, 100,000, on the higher end, and this is with the mitigation, 240,000 people dying from this over like the next 30, 60, 90 days. I mean, so, and they even predict that on April 15th, the country will experience that 2,200 people around the United States will die on that single day on April 15th, just 2 weeks from today.
I thought the presentations did a good job of giving hope and giving a reason and a rationale for the social distancing that they're asking of us. I mean, you saw a pretty wide disparity between what's happening in New York and New Jersey and the rest of the country, where maybe we are getting ahead of it just a little bit. For the president to go in front of the country and say, we know that this is going to be a tough stretch, but you have a lot to do with how this will be mitigated over the next 30 days. Jordan, I thought it was very important for him to do, and I thought it set the right tone.
I want every American to be prepared for the hard days that lie ahead. We're going to go through a very tough 2 weeks. And then hopefully, as the experts are predicting, as I think a lot of us are predicting after having studied it so hard, you're going to start seeing some real light at the end of the tunnel. But this is going to be a very painful, very, very painful 2 weeks.
And then in some states,
it's going to be later.
They won't be experiencing those peak in cases. And I mean, just predicting that 2,200 Americans will die on April 15th is the prediction.
Let me say something about this, because I think, as the president said, look, we're going to go through a tough time. And this is it's different than a sneak attack. It's you're bracing yourself for what you know is coming. But I want to say something to the families, and because there's a lot of them. There's 190,000 cases in the United States, and those numbers are growing at big rates every day. The country is praying for you. The country is together. This is not political. I don't want to hear any political rhetoric from anybody about oversight hearings. I'm already hearing that.
Yeah, from police.
I mean, we haven't even gotten through this yet. So what I want to encourage people to do is, number one, do what the CDC, do what the guidelines say, and that is we've got 30 days of additional social distancing. And that, look, the Surgeon General came out and said, it's probably going to be longer than that. And, folks, I think it probably is.
List from the AP, that in a best-case scenario would likely be greater than the more than 53,000 American lives lost during World War I. And the model's high end, and this is with the mitigation, near the realm of possibility that Americans lost to the virus could approach the 291,000 Americans killed on the battlefield during World War II. This is in the best-case scenario, the 100,000 to 240,000. Now,
and they still want to try to get it under that.
Their goal is to keep it under that. Right now, it's like hard to imagine 2,200 people dying from this 2 weeks from now in a single day. In a single day, 2,200 people.
But we had 1,000 die yesterday.
But when you start seeing these numbers, right, and you start seeing these numbers come together, let's listen to Dr. Fauci, too, because they're talking about how they kind of take this as, okay, let's see what we can do to get under that number.
The modeling that Dr. Berg showed predicts that number that you saw. We don't accept that number that's what it's going to be. We're going to be doing everything we can to get it even significantly below that. So, I don't want it to be a mixed message. This is the thing that we need to anticipate, but that doesn't mean that that's what we're going to accept. We want to do much, much better than that.
I mean, that's the hope and the prayer, and that they're right. So again, England initially was going to just ride it out, and then they started seeing the modeling and the numbers, and they said we're not doing that. But this is hitting like a wave.